It's time for Entrepreneurship, My Journey. And today I'm joined by an innovative young man who has launched a tutoring company from the boot of his car. These stories are always amazing. And his story began all the way in pre-COVID times in 2015. Now, the business is obviously going strong because there is a strong need for increased levels of quality education around the country. And let's just find out what the secret to his success is. He joins me in studio, and that is Thobo Khathola. And he's the founder and managing director and CEO of Lion Tutoring. A very good evening to you, and thank you for joining us on this Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. I understand you have a daughter, and you were told not to embarrass her. Let's see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us in studio. And tell us why it was so important for you to develop a Lion Tutoring and the different the structures that create ways in which people can be taught as they look for those special courses of bettering their education or what it might be.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rafiu. I really appreciate the platform. We started the company with the sole mandate of improving education, making it accessible, making it convenient, for all students, from primary school level all the way to tertiary. You might be wanting to learn a new language, to speak to your colleagues. You might be wanting to learn to play the guitar or the piano or any academic subject. We got you covered.
Yeah, and it's such an important thing that you say there about language, because I don't know if you would have seen over the last few weeks, we've covered the fact that grade 4 learners can't read for comprehension.
Yeah.
And then today, the Minister of Basic Education, Minister Angie Motshekga, said it's because many of them don't speak English at home. And so they understand better in their own language. How important has that component been for making sure that whatever you're teaching to whoever student is understanding whatever work they are consuming?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's really, really important for students to, start with the English language because it's, worldwide, but even being able to just have that transition from my home language, which I'm Tswana, from Botswana, just have that transition from your mother tongue into, the schooling system, whether it's in English or we did Afrikaans in our university. There was an Afrikaans group. So having that smooth transition from your mother tongue to English is really important.
Yeah. What were some of the challenges as a business that you faced presenting this as a quality platform on which to get quality and affordable tutoring? What were some of the challenges that you faced there?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is always startup capital.
Of course.
But where there's a will, there's a way. I was unemployed like everyone else. I went to this University of Pretoria. I did my undergrad there, and I was thinking there's a job lined up, and there wasn't any job. So like anyone else, dropped the application. But, there's a light bulb moment that came to say, I'm good at tutoring students. Why not just start my own company? So that's where we started. I just bootstrapped the company. Took a few students, got the startup capital, raised some more, and now we have 300 employees in Botswana and South Africa. And we have an app which is like Uber for tutors. So once you go into the Google Play Store, you search Lion Tutoring, it will obviously show you the tutors in your location. Then you are able to pay and book a tutor to come to your house.
That is amazing. 300 across Botswana and South Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you do that? The finding of tutors who understand the subject matter and are able to teach whoever's looking to understand that subject a little better. What is that vetting process that you have developed as Lion Tutoring?
So what we do is we partner with your local HR agencies. There are some that we partner with here in South Africa. They do the whole value chain. They recruit the tutors, they do the vetting. We check that the tutors don't have any criminal records or any pending cases. So it's the same companies that your Uber would use, that would help us with that, the vetting, the fingerprints, the verification of the qualifications.
Yeah.
So somebody might forge a PhD in education.
This is South Africa. Anything is possible, right?
So we do that. Even in Botswana, we make sure that we really go the extra mile to make sure that these people are there, because we're sending them to your house. So we have to make sure that these are the right people and that we minimize what kind of risk that may come.
Yeah. How important has technology been to grow the business? You've mentioned the apps, the app rather, that people can access on Google Play Store. But in general, the role that digitization and technology plays to make sure that you are delivering the best service.
Yeah. So COVID really really put that light bulb moment because, we're all locked down at home, and we really needed to find a way in which we can leave our houses without leaving our houses.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of online tutoring, and we had students as far as, your UK, your Canada, even in Botswana, the whole African continent. And then the app was just to have convenience, for you to be able to book a tutor from your office and have the tutor get to your house, so we really leveraged on technology to make sure that we can be able to reach out to as many students as possible.
Yeah. What kind of the subjects are students across the board wanting to better themselves in? I know we are moving in a certain direction as a world when it comes to technology and IT and the Internet of Things. So what are the skills that students are looking to polish when they're looking for tutoring services?
Yeah, it used to be your conventional maths and sciences, but now we've got robotics, we've got, even from early stages, kids as young as 6 years old are already now programming these robots, they are Lego toys, so many of the schools are offering that, and we help the students after hours. So you'd have your child doing robotics at school, and then maybe they don't understand a part of the code that would obviously have our computer science tutors come through to help. So yeah, we're getting subjects like that, your robotics, your Java, your C++, your C#. We're getting people wanting to learn other languages, like if you're a vendor, you want to speak Tswana, or you want to speak Afrikaans or French. We're getting guitar lessons, parents want to do extracurricular. But we also even have homeschooling. So if a parent wants to move their kid away from the conventional schooling, that obviously engage us to do homeschooling, help them with the program, register the child as a private candidate. Then they obviously get the normal certificate or qualification that all the kids do from your conventional school.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because when I was doing my research on Lion Tutoring, I saw that homeschooling offering, and then I thought, is there a misconception that homeschooling desocializes a young person, in that apart from being in a conventional school setting, in a private school setting at home or whatever it may be, they may not be able to socialize? So with that in mind, is that a misconception, and what are some of the benefits of homeschooling structure?
Yeah, not necessarily, Rofiwa, because, with homeschooling, we also have extracurricular activities. So even after our students who have done homeschooling, maybe some 5 or 6 hours in the morning, they would obviously have, like, your swimming lessons in the afternoon. Some of their parents book them into a gym or a soccer club that they would play in the afternoons. So it doesn't really disassociate students from your conventional, interaction. And it does really help students who sometimes travel. Last year we had a tennis national team player, but he had to be traveling. So 6 months he's in Portugal, the other 6 months he's in the UK. So he needed a schooling system which is flexible, such that when he's back in South Africa, he can be able to do his in-person schooling. And then when he travels, he's able to connect with the same tutor online. So it really helps. We've got students, children of missionaries, children of your expatriates, your ambassadors. Sometimes they're traveling a lot, and they need a consistent schooling system. So instead of being schooled in one school and then your parents move to another country or another city, you are now put in another school, we have a consistent platform.
That structure is important indeed. Finally, from you, you have created a solid base in Botswana and in South Africa. There is remote learning that I'm sure happens in all parts of the world. But on the growth of Lion Tutoring, what are you seeing in the medium term?
So right now we're actually on a capital raise. So we have a couple of investors that we're obviously raising our Series A funding. And what we really want to do is to get this throughout the world. At first there was an African plan, but now we started seeing some of the stats in our websites or in our apps. We have people as far as the Philippines, people as far as the UK, Canada, Australia. That's where we get more hits. So now the plan is to say, let's just put it there, and we'll see what happens. And we really are getting a good response from parents, from students. We have an amazing team. I just want to give them a ton of credit. I'm here, but I'm representing 300 guys who are, some of them even now in lessons. So yeah, it's an
Sunday.
amazing on a Sunday. Can you imagine?
No, absolutely. Thank you very much for your time this evening, and we wish you the very best of luck as you implement this global plan for Lion Tutoring. That is Thobo Khathola, who is the founder and managing director, as well as the CEO of Lion Tutoring. And as you've just heard him say, he represents 300 strong teammates that are providing quality education services across the world, as you've just heard at the moment.